Hello, welcome back everyone. How was everyone's week? How was your week, Elsa?
It was quite a busy week, but very nice one as well. Very excited. How about you?
Not bad, thank you. What about you, Dave?
Another busy week. Yes, fantastic. Every day is another day. It's another adventure in Dave's life. Always something going on. But I'm excited to be here today.
That's our
Okay,
daily
let,
life.
let's
What's that?
start with the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's start with the questions then. So the first question today I want to get into is: do you have any myths or misconceptions from New York, Dave, or from Dubai, Elsa? Or
Ladies
what is the
first.
best? If you don't have myths or misconceptions, then what is the best or the worst thing about your city?
Mm.
Mm. Well, it's hard to it's hard to come up just with one thing right here, right now. Um, but I mean, the best thing here is that the city is open for everyone, and you can like uh, live live a very normal life without being annoyed or harassed by anyone, which doesn't happen in a lot of countries. So yeah, this is something that really stands out here in the city.
Okay, nice. What about you, Dave?
So a misconception about upstate New York. So I'm going to say New York, not just the United States, is that it's a totally what you would call redneck area. I don't know if that phrase carries over into other parts of the world, but I think in Australia they call it a bogan. I think I don't know. I was told that might be a derogatory term, but there's a whole mix of people up here, and some of them are very country, but there's a lot of city transplants. So you'll get a mix. Not a lot of diversity up here, but not everybody looks like me, and I don't have any expectations when I leave the house. So whoever I meet, and they're all human to me, so it's fine. But New York City was totally where I'm originally from, is absolutely diverse, and you find anything you want. And I think the misconception of New York City is that it's crime ridden, that it's really, really crime ridden. And you got to be really careful in New York, which you do. You do have to be really careful in New York. And crime can happen to you, and it could. And if it happens to you, then you're going to remember that for the rest of your life. And then you're going to go home and tell everybody you were involved in a crime.
If you stay alive.
If you stay alive, yes, right. Yeah, and that's also a possibility. Yes, it's very rare, and that people visit and horrible things happen. But if it happens, then that's usually the news that gets out. My guess is that 99% of the people that visit New York leave with a positive experience of clean trains, clean streets, or nice people. I've met the nicest people, not because I'm a New Yorker, just because I'm nice. So I'll smile and I'll stop somebody on the street for directions. I've given tours in New York to my friends who were absolutely terrified of New York. And then at the end of the day, they had the greatest day of their life, because they had a good tour guide, and they saw New York and it was clean and safe. And yeah, I've done it like 3 or 4 times already. I've taken out of towners to New York, so not as crime ridden as you may think. Your imagination can be very powerful. So don't watch any of the Death Wish movies with Charles Bronson. Don't watch any New York City movies from 1970 to 1979. These are not good movies to watch for New York. There you go.
So when you mentioned rednecks, Dave, certainly me, I associate rednecks with Texas or the Deep South.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking about when you say rednecks.
Yeah. There's rednecks, there's hillbilly, there's Southerners, there's Cajun, there's the Cajun. So there's a whole lot of categories if you want to label. I don't know if the show wants to get into labeling, but there's a whole bunch of categories. And then of course there's city folk. And even in city folk, it's different. There's inner city, there's, wealthy city, there's educated, everybody's different. But yeah, redneck is a lot more than just Texas and anything about it. With an accent, like country music, those that's different music. So, but yeah, rednecks are everywhere. Rednecks are everywhere in the United States. All 50 states have rednecks. It's just a matter of how many teeth you have in your mouth. I think that's the. I think at the end of the day, that's the category. I have a full set of teeth, still uppers and lowers, so I am not a redneck. But once I start losing my teeth, and my vocabulary is at a good level too. I have a decent vocabulary. That's also important to have a decent vocabulary, to know all the words. Well, most of them.
And you need a set of dungarees and a flatbed truck as well. To be a
pickup truck. Listen, we can go into that conversation again. Pickup trucks are very important. If you want to be a good redneck, you can't be driving around in a Toyota Corolla or a Prius and be a redneck. You can't. You have to have a pickup truck. And then we can talk about weapons too that you own legally or illegally and stuff like that. But yeah, it's they're everywhere. They're in every state. Maine, New Jersey, Massachusetts. They're all over the United States. So they're everywhere.
That's something I didn't know. So, so a misconception about Milton Keynes is that we have no history. Obviously, the city is 60 years old, so it's not very old. But in Bletchley Park is where the World War II Enigma code was broken.
Oh.
If you know about this. So we broke the Enigma code, the German secret messaging code during the World War II. And it was broken in Milton Keynes.
There you go.
So
how old is it, did you say? 60 or 6?
60.
60. Okay. I didn't know about the Enigma code. I didn't know what that is. It's World War II?
Yes.
Okay.
So that helped Britain win the World War, breaking the Enigma code. So we knew what the Germans were saying over the radios and stuff like that.
Excellent. All right.
So there's a lot of roundabouts in Milton Keynes. This is not a myth. This is true. But Milton Keynes is very beautiful. We have a lot of beautiful parks and lakes here. So it's a nice place to live.
I hope so.
So on to the next question.
And it's also the home to the F1 team, the Red Bull F1 team.
Yes,
that is something you didn't tell me this whole time until I found out on my own.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Elsa? Did you know that?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So it's a big, it's big money. Red Bull, big building, lots of, I'm sure they cover lots of acreage. And Luke actually looked up to go on a tour to go inside, and it's quite expensive just to take a walking tour, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember how much it was, Luke?
£300.
How much?
£300.
I hope it's all day, including food. I hope it's like...
I think it is. I think it's including food.
Well, then it's not so bad. I don't know. You get food. You got to get food. Maybe some memorabilia. I mean, something. It's a lot of money.
I want to meet Max Verstappen for that price.
Yeah, you want to meet
somebody. I want to drive the
yeah.
car for that price.
You want to sit in the car, drive the yeah. I don't know, 300,000 maybe. I don't know about 300. All right, yeah. So that's interesting. So Milton Keynes is really, it's on the map. I didn't, Luke is talking about it like it's just made up. We just put it together. It's like a Lego set, but it's a real place. It's like people live there, streets and everything. You'll have to take us on a walking tour one day, Luke. You have to come in on your cell phone and just do it from the streets, from that park. What's that park you mentioned?
Bletchley Park.
All right.
It's not really a park though. It's just called Bletchley Park. Okay. But we have some nice parks here.
All right. We have that to look forward to. Maybe one day we'll all call in on our cell phones from a local park. That'd be a good idea.
Christian Horner is actually a Coventry City fan as well, the Red Bull team principal.
All right, there you go. You have something in common. You won't be total strangers.
So, on to the next question. What is a city or a country that you'd never want to visit, but that's somewhat changed over the years that you now would like to visit somewhere? So I can go first on this.
Right.
I've changed my mind on Dubai. Before I didn't want to go to Dubai because I thought it's got no history, it's got no culture. but in fact, it does have.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned recently it does have some history and culture there. It used to
It
be
does.
a fishing village, a small fishing village, and now it's this built-up city. Now it's one of the most forward-thinking cities in the world, Dubai.
True. Very true.
Is there a place that you wrote off before that have now changed your mind?
Um, I might say Romania or Armenia, one of these two countries. I was like, meh, not really interested going there. But now, like, I'm being like more excited into exploring that part of the world, that part of Europe. I've never been to Eastern Europe that much, so yeah, it's something that I could look forward to.
Why Armenia? Romania, I'm just going to guess because of the show. But
Hmm.
why
Right.
Armenia?
Armenia is the country of my very, very close friend. And first it was like, yeah, it's one of those countries, but now I'm seeing the pictures and she's talking to me about it and the culture and everything, and I'm like, I'm increasingly interested in seeing it and in going there and exploring the country, and it seems like very it has a lot of things, a lot of gems that we don't really know about, but it's a place to actually explore.
Hmm. All right.
What about you, Dave? Is there any
Um,
place that you wrote off?
well, I don't think I've ever had anything written off. I always thought, going to Japan or China would be really difficult because you can't just like go to Duolingo and learn just enough Chinese or Japanese to get by. I mean, but I have made a friend or an acquaintance that lives in Japan and Tokyo, I think more specifically, or outside of Tokyo, and he seems to be having a great time. He has learned the language. He might have. I don't know if he knew the language already a little bit, but he's not Japanese at all. And I forget where he's from, but anyway, so I don't have anything written off. I want to see everything as much as possible, even if it's like enemy territory. I'm just so curious because I know there's people like us everywhere. We've talked about that. Everywhere there's people, people are everywhere, and I want to know what the human plight is everywhere. There's no way. Anyway, I don't want to get political, but yeah, Japan and China, I was always a little bit sketchy of for those reasons of language, but nothing else. Also, my seafood consumption is like, I got to be careful. I know somebody's going to put something in front of me, a plate, and I go, what is that? Oh, don't worry. It's good. It tastes like chicken. And I go, yeah, I don't think so. It looks like it was something I don't want to eat. So I know my eyes will tell my brain to tell my mouth, don't do that. Don't eat that. And it'll ruin the experience. So I'm a little nervous about the language, and I'm concerned about the language. I'm nervous about the food, and it's probably very expensive. I don't know if the yen is still very, powerful against the dollar. And then I'd have to say India. I've heard not great things about visiting India, and I hate to say it. I don't really know. Is that a myth? If I go to India, it's going to be tough. It's a rough area but they all have a history. History is not my issue. Pakistan, Afghanistan, all those types of places. Yeah, it's like these are sketchy areas, and I never thought about visiting Dubai ever in my life, but now that's at the top of the list. And Romania, yeah, because of Alexandra is at the top of the list. So, yeah, and I'm not limited to the planet Earth, by the way. I just want to put that down, just in case anybody's listening from NASA or Tesla. With the Elon Musk rockets. I'm open to the possibilities of another civilization anywhere, other
So,
universes and planets.
Maybe Lebanon.
so
Lebanon, yes, Lebanon. I want to be able to pronounce Lebanon. I know one day I said Lebanon because we have Lebanon here in New York. We do have what's called Lebanon Valley. So, but one day on a show I said Lebanon. So it's Lebanon, right? I should pronounce it
Yeah,
properly.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. My apologies.
as you mentioned, Afghanistan, Pakistan, I wanted to drop a little spoiler for our listeners. Our next guest is actually quite a big YouTuber, and they've been to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Japan. They've travelled all around Asia, but it must be so difficult. Oh, the name is Alan and Shannon, the 85,000 subscriber YouTube channel. It must be so difficult getting a subway in Japan because their language is just like, I don't know, squiggles. I don't know how to describe it.
The written
Isn't it-
language?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So when you get the subway, you're like, I'm going to wherever I'm going, and I need to look on the sign where my station I need to get off, and it's like, how do you understand what it says on the sign? I don't understand. So
No.
yeah, that's one question to put to them when they come on.
Okay. Well, I always say, I always used to joke, why are the Japanese and Chinese so smart? Because they know how to write and read and speak Japanese and Chinese. It's probably two of the most difficult languages in the world.
Yeah.
You can't make any sense of that if you're not trained in it. It's not like Spanish is kind of related to Italian, and sometimes it's the same as English.
Portuguese.
Portuguese. There's like similarities, not Chinese and Japanese. It's totally not. And they don't walk around. Nothing is dubbed. You can't walk on the street like a movie, and everything's dubbed. You can't just hold the phone. Can you just speak into this and dub? Interpret the language. It's hard. Yeah. That's why. Again, I just said that. That's my concern. Is the language. Is that and the money.
So next question is the most overrated or underrated destination that you've been to.
I'm always waiting on Elsa.
Why?
Because it's ladies first. It's for me. It's always ladies first. Unless you need more time. You need more time?
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
I can go
Disneyland,
first.
without a doubt. Disneyland in America. Disneyland, Disney World. So overrated. I mean, if you have a little baby, it's okay. It's the land of make believe. It's happiness. It's all, but it's so unreal. It's very expensive. I can't tell you how many Americans, people all over the world, kill themselves. They kill themselves to afford a week. And then what happens is 5 years later, your children don't even remember it. It's not for adults. It's for the kids. And if you take them too young, they can't go on the rides because they're too small, right? They're too young. You have to be this tall to ride this ride. And they'll forget it. And it's just so expensive. But if you wait until they're old enough to enjoy it, they don't want to be there no more. They don't even want to spend time with their mother and father anymore. They want to get the hell out of there. And the lines are so long, and by the way, I'm not speaking from experience. I've only been to the one in California. No, I've been to both of them, but it's just, to me, I'm not an amusement park guy, like roller coaster. I don't dislike it. I just don't like it that much. And it's a lot of walking. It's a lot of standing. It's a lot of waiting. And I don't like waiting on lines for anything. So I think that's overrated. And it's so expensive. And the hotels and the packages that they sell you and the gift shop. And, it just sounds like and it gets crowded. And then you're just, with these other people, you got to touch them. It's just a little gross. So, yeah, Disneyland, Disney World, overrated. Epcot, I like Epcot. I like movie sets like Universal Studios where they make movies, but Disneyland, Disney World, no, overrated.
This is not for me. I don't like roller coasters. I'm scared of roller coasters.
Oh, no, like riding a roller coaster?
No.
Never?
I've done it twice. I've done it twice, but I'm scared.
You're scared, yeah. I'm not going to make fun of you. I understand.
So I have a story now about a roller coaster.
Okay.
So I was in Blackpool to watch football, and they have a theme park in Blackpool, and I think at the time it was the fastest and the highest roller coaster in Europe. And I had a massive hangover, and I was on this roller coaster, and it wasn't fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you had a hangover because the night before you drank a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next day you go on a roller coaster. and it's
not a
throwing
good
you
idea.
all over the place. That's not a good. But
Good
look,
luck.
that's that's just a bad decision. That's What was the name of the roller coaster? Do you remember?
The big one.
It's called the big one.
Yeah.
Did you
I
sit in the
think he'll
front seat?
remember it for the rest of his life.
Yeah, right. The big one. Jeez, what a name for a roller coaster. And this is recently, the last couple of years?
No, a long time ago. 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, it's like a childhood memory.
But I was with a friend there who had his kid as well. His kid was about 10 years old. And he said, oh, my son's going on the ride, so if he can go on it, you can go. It's a bit of teasing.
Right.
And so it was like peer pressure that if he's going, then I have to go,
Can I ask you a question? So you have a fear. There's a fear? What are you afraid of? I'm curious. You think you're going to fall out?
No, I just don't like the feeling.
Yeah.
It's just too fast. It's just too. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah. I've thought about that. I do think about that. Like, why do people have a fear when 99 times out of 100 or 99 out of 99 and a half or whatever, nothing ever happens on a roller coaster. Nobody ever gets hurt. Although, if you ride a wooden roller coaster, different from a wooden roller coaster will really hurt you. We have the Cyclone in Brooklyn. It's one of the most famous roller coasters in the world in Brooklyn. It's wooden, and that will break your neck. It will hurt. And I don't go on wooden ones. I will go on a rail because they're smoother. They're more aerodynamically engineered to be faster. But the wooden ones, man, they just rattle you. Like, oh man, I'm too old for this. But I don't have a fear of roller coasters. But the whole idea of going really, really high and then de-escalating really fast and screaming with your hands up in the air. As a child, as a young adult, that seemed like a great idea. Now that I'm older, I can really give a crap. I don't need that in my life. I just don't need it. But I do other things instead. So it's just an interesting, the whole idea of amusement rides is an interesting human behavior conversation for another podcast. Why? Why? Why for anything? Yeah. Right?
Why?
Elsa? Why?
Oh,
when
yeah.
you were a child and you went on the carousel, I don't know what they call it on your end of the world, when you're on the merry-go-round, and you're on the horse, and you're holding onto the pole, and you're going up and down, up and down. You're having a great time. Why? What the hell? What is happening in your life that you're so happy that you're on a roller coaster and you're on the horse and you pick a horse? Like, oh, I don't want that horse. I want the unicorn, or I want the monkey, or I want, it's like, and you're going up and down, up and down. It's like you're having the greatest time of your life. You're 5 years old. It's the greatest thing. I don't know why, but I look back now and go, what a dummy. What the hell was going on in my life? But it's an interesting human behavior. Sorry, we went into the weeds.
So the most overrated place I was visiting was Amsterdam. The food was terrible. The weather was terrible.
Oh.
The transport was terrible. Like, we got the Eurostar from London to Amsterdam, the Eurostar train.
Okay.
That was delayed, so that was a disaster. The weather was awful. The food was awful. I made a mistake as well. I booked to go to a museum, the Anne Frank Museum in Amsterdam, but I booked the wrong tour, so we missed the tour. We didn't go to that. I booked the wrong hotel as well, because the hotel we booked had one in the city centre and another one 5 miles outside the city centre. So I booked the wrong one, which was outside the city centre. So, yeah, it was a disaster.
Yeah. Were you hungover when you made these plans?
No.
Is all your worst memories of being hungover and doing things? Wow. But isn't Amsterdam where you can get high, like legally? You can just get marijuana and get high? So that maybe is that why the food wasn't good? Because did you partake? Can I ask that question? Is that allowed?
This is not on my radar at all.
Okay, so you were sober, totally straight, and you're eating. And what did you eat that was so bad? What was not good?
We went to an Argentinian steak restaurant, which was awful.
Awful.
And I have good experiences of Argentinian steak previously in previous holidays. So we saw we found this restaurant, the Argentinian restaurant, and we thought, we know Argentinian steak is good, so we'll go there. And it was awful.
Sorry to hear
I think the
that.
problem is, when you go to a restaurant, if you go to an Italian restaurant, for example, you want the staff to be Italian. You want the chef to be Italian. Then you know it's authentic Italian. We went to this Argentinian place, and the staff are Asian. So, obviously, it's not authentic Argentinian food. So
but you had a lot of things all at once. Bad hotel, wrong hotel, wrong tour, late train, bad food, and you're sober. I think that the one thing that you didn't do, that's probably the thing you should have done, and everything would have been okay. Everything would have been just fine. I don't know. I've never been to Amsterdam, but that's what I hear. You probably should have
it's everywhere.
Okay.
It's everywhere in Amsterdam.
Oh, wow. Yeah, is it? And you can smell it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting a second.
You know, you see coffee shops, but they're not. They're coffee shops. It's where you go to eat a cake or whatever.
I think you're getting a secondhand high just walking down the street. Is that really true?
I don't think so.
I've been told in New York City it smells like marijuana now. New York City smells like marijuana. I've heard that many, many times. People get on the train or whatever you call it, the metro or the subway. They go up the steps, and as soon as you're in the streets of Manhattan, ooh, smells like pot. It smells like pot everywhere. That's what I was.
Wow.
That's what I've been told many times. I can't smell. I don't have a sense of smell. I don't have it. But I've been told that that's what it smells like. So there you go.
In America, you're the only country in the world that calls it pot, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys call it? What do you guys call it?
Weed, I guess.
Yeah, weed. Sure, weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll call it weed if you want. I want to be as highfalutin as you, English people. I want to say it properly. Weed. Yes, weed. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So did Elsa answer the question, or did we delay this long enough for her to come up with an answer?
Do you have an overrated destination, Elsa?
There you go.
For me, well, they're gonna kill me, but for me it was Paris.
Wow. What's up?
I mean, for me, I don't really like those touristic places where everyone flocks in. And even when I went there, I mean, it's something weird. I mean, it's just a river with that big Eiffel Tower, which is good to see, but then, okay, it's just another city. When I went to the north and to the south of France and I went to the Alps, it was a completely different story. It was like epic. But just going there to the city and seeing Paris, okay, I did it. You can visit it. Okay, fine. 1 day, maximum 2 days, if ever. But then, yeah, okay, then what? So yeah, I prefer the more rural, original France. It's really beautiful, and the French people are very nice, contrary to what people think.
There's a myth, right?
Yeah, there's a myth.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Paris, France, no. But outside, you like it. Yeah, city's a city sometimes. Okay.
So I've been to Paris, and the food was awesome. I love the food in Paris.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their food is good.
What did you eat, Luke? What did you eat that was awesome?
French onion soup was amazing.
Okay. That's on every American diner's menu, and I wonder how different it is in Paris. French onion soup. It's so good. My wife orders it all the time. Loves it. With the cheese is melted on top.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the croutons, it was so good.
Croutons.
So I loved the Louvre, and I loved the Arc de Triomphe. But in Paris, honestly, the Eiffel Tower is a waste of time.
Yeah. Because
it's just queues. It takes you 2 hours to go up to the top of the Eiffel Tower. And then when you're up there, you just look around. Oh, I see Paris. And then you go down again. It takes 2 hours to go down again. It's just a waste of time.
What's a queue?
You can go to Montmartre.
Wait, hold on. You can go where?
To Montmartre, which is another place in Paris where you can see the entire city. And it's not something super exciting to see. Like, okay, you're up high. Then what?
Exactly, Elsa. There's nothing exciting to see. It's just wasting your time queuing up, going up on the lift, coming down. It's just a waste of time.
Wait. What's a queue for those of us that don't speak the language? What's a queue?
So you're just waiting. You're waiting in
Oh,
line
waiting
to
you're
go.
in the
lines.
queue,
Yeah.
in the line, or whatever.
So
What do
Okay,
you
so
call
it's
it,
not
Dick?
worth it.
I don't know, waiting in line in the queue. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I say it when I'm speaking to English people, but I don't say it here in America. You're in the queue. We just don't use that word really. I don't know why. So the same thing with America. I mean, I talked about this in a previous episode about the Statue of Liberty. You know, it's much better to see it on the boat passing by. You don't need to get on that island because it's just a man-made island, and they put the Statue of Liberty on there. And the whole tour is walking inside underneath her dress, walking inside the Statue of Liberty. It's just a spiral staircase. It's a tin can. You're just inside the statue. There's nothing to see inside the Statue of Liberty under her dress. And then you go up to
This
her.
is what I was wanting to ask. Like, what the?
And then you go up into her chest. You go up into her chest, and there's nothing there. You know, it's an empty statue. And then if it's really, really hot, if you go in the summertime and it's hot and it's crowded, it's a long one step at a time because when people get to the top, they want to see. But there's nothing to see except for the Hudson River. I mean, it's all views are beautiful. I think we can all agree to see Paris from the top of the Eiffel Tower or the place that you mentioned or the top of any mountain or tram, all these things. Views are beautiful. Vistas and views are beautiful. But the amount of time it takes to get there has to be worth it. And if it takes 2 hours to get to the top and then you go up there and you go like this, you go, okay, gotta go because we can't be up here forever, or you want to stay up there forever because you were down in the queue for 2 hours, but you just wasted 2 hours online. So I get what you're saying, but you can say that for the Empire State Building, same thing. But if you want to get a great view, for me, I think the Empire State Building is a great view. World Trade Center, or now the Freedom Tower. The Freedom Tower, I went. It was beautiful up on top. The elevator ride is entertainment, by the way. They show you a movie on the way up of the Freedom Tower. So I understand what you both are saying. It's a long wait for a view, which, by the way,
no
you
bloody
can.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing as riding a bus, like we talked about in the last episode. Is it all depends on how much time you have, how much money you have, and what you want out of. I have no expectations when I go on. There's nothing I really want to do. I just want to be alive and walk. So I'm very easy, but I don't have high expectations. I'm not 19 anymore. I'm not in the Philippines.
So when you're halfway up the Eiffel Tower, like, oh, I'm halfway there. You're just crammed in like sardines.
Yeah.
It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah. Can you ever go when it's empty? Is there ever a time to go to the Eiffel Tower when it's empty? Like, it has to be off season, or
I don't know.
It's not 24 hours, right? They close it, right? Can't you go up
close
at
it,
night?
yeah.
You can't go up at night? Isn't that the time to go?
Probably, but anyway,
Okay.
when you're up the top, there's nothing to see anyway.
Really? All right.
And it's the same with St. Peter's Basilica, Vatican Church. You just climb the stairs. It takes forever, and you're exhausted when you get to the top. And then there's nothing to see. It's just, okay, I'm here.
Yeah. When I was in Milan a couple of years ago, was it Madrid? Milan. And that's in Italy, right? Milan's in Italy, right?
Yes.
And they got the famous church over there or something. I can't remember. I know, idiot American. But they had a tour of a church, and my wife and I went to see how much it cost, and the line outside was already long. And I said to her, I said, listen, really, we can't see this church like in a book online. Like, it's just going to be stained glass. Listen, if you love churches, God bless you. I mean, I really mean it. God bless you. But it's stained glass. The architecture is beautiful. I get it. It's just, you really got to love architecture to wait online, or you got to love the church. There has to, right? Elsa, it has to have some meaning for you, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, I am a Christian,
Mm-hmm. Good.
and I went through a lot of churches in Europe, and they're amazing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to come to Lebanon and see how the churches are made in there. and it's a completely different story. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm looking at concrete. You go to Lebanon, it's only like these big rocks and stones, very traditional.
Hmm.
And that for me, it's next level. And they're beautiful. And you have all those icons and those all those paintings. They're super, super old. They're full of tradition. So, like, for me, if I go to a church, it's for me to pray and to really, it's really for religious purposes to thank God for where I am and whatever I'm traveling the world. But for me to see a church, which is cool, which is okay, but I already have at home a big treasure of history and tradition and even architecture, which is amazing. So I don't really need to see that to be like, oh wow. One place I would like to go and see the churches and the museums and the castles in there is Russia.
Hmm. Why Russia?
They tell me it's next level, like completely another world.
Yeah, I hear you. Next
Maybe.
level is a phrase I hear a lot lately. Everything's next level. It's interesting. I think there's a difference in age between us, Elsa, for sure. I never say Q and I never say next level, but I will try. I will try.
Maybe I hear it a lot here in Dubai, so like
Okay. Well, Dubai is
it,
next level. Yeah.
well,
I
that's for
think
sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lou.
I think you should wait a couple of years until you visit Russia, though. Maybe until Vladimir Putin's dead or something, because at the moment it's not the time to visit Russia.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. So unfortunately, though, it's a.
Hmm.
They tell me my grandma went there, and she told me like it's another world. She, out of all the countries she visited, she told me this was the best. That's what she told me. So like, I'm very intrigued now.
So the next question we have is, what is the country that you visited that is the most underrated country or city?
Underrated.
I can start.
I have no answer for that. Every country I've been, I don't know what the rating is for every country I've ever been at.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, I mean, when we've talked about Romania being underestimated, I was surprised by that. I didn't know a thing about Romania until this show. So I couldn't tell you. Scotland I've been to and it was nice, and the UK I've been to, and Asian countries and Mexico and Canada. I mean, I don't know of anything underrated. A friend of mine lives in a place called Vancouver Island, which is British Columbia, right off the coast of Vancouver. British Columbia. Vancouver's a city. But she lives in a place called Vancouver Island. So when she told me that, I never heard of it. Have you ever heard of Vancouver Island? No. Because why would you, right? Nobody cares. It's not a country. It's just another, I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's an island. And I go, what do you mean an island? Like, you know, how big is this island? This island is 5 times the size of New Jersey, the state of New Jersey. It's really a huge island. It could almost be another country. And it's in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of British Columbia. It takes about an hour and a half of a ferry ride to get from the mainland Canada to Vancouver Island. I think there might be palm trees on this island. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of wildlife. It's like it's like another world. And I looked at it and I said, wow, I've never heard in my life of Vancouver Island. The kids call it VI. You know, if you want to be cool, you'll say VI. But yeah, I knew this woman from podcasting, and she told me where she lived. I never heard of it in my life. And then you look at it on the map. It's like, how do you miss it? It's like another continent. It's huge. It's like the best kept secret. So that's not the question. The question was underrated. So this was I never heard of it. It's if you look on the map, look for Vancouver Island, you'll be surprised. It's really huge. And I don't know why it's not whatever reason it's not a country, but it's big. So anyway, that's sort of my answer. I don't have an underestimated or underrated country. They're all the same to me. I mean, it's elsewhere.
So I would like to say the underrated place I was visiting was Naples. A lot of people told me before I went there that it's full of crime, it's dangerous. They have the Italian mafia there, the Camorra, which
They're
is
everywhere.
true. I think it's true, but it was one of the best places we visited. Honestly, it was so good. The food is the best I've ever had in any
Positive.
place.
Finally, you had good food. Naples. What did you eat? What did you eat in Naples? What was the positive, excellent food?
We had seafood. We had pasta, pizza. It's where pizza's from originally, so it's so good, and there's so much character as well in the Spanish Quarter. So yeah, it's a really good place to visit, Naples. Elsa?
For me, it's not a place that I visited. It's somewhere that I've heard of, and I made like a bit of friends in here from, which is Uzbekistan. It seems like quite Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, that area. It seems like quite a very interesting place, and people don't know much about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I don't know a
Yeah, it
single
seems
thing.
very beautiful.
Is it Uzbekistan?
Uzbekistan and
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan,
Hmm.
which are areas near Russia, Nepal, Mongolia, like the Stan area.
Right, right. Have you ever seen, you know, the actor Stanley Tucci? He's from The Devil Wears
No.
Prada, bald-headed man, actor. Very good actor. Okay, anyway. So he had a TV show on cable here in the, I don't know, I never know how it is in your countries, but he had a show called Searching for Italy. Stanley Tucci. He was in The Devil Wears Prada with Meryl Streep and hundreds of other movies. But yeah, he did a whole tour of Italy, you know, Naples and the food and all that stuff. And I think Naples in the show, the food was excellent. But Italy, listen, Luke, I can tell you right now, everywhere I go, I just assume there's mafia. Just assume it. They're there. You don't want to know they're there. They don't want you to see them. I just assume they're everywhere. But I understand what you're saying. In that area, it's probably more. That might be their base. You know, the command center. But yeah, the food in Italy is really fantastic. We were at Lake Como, and the food was excellent there. The dairy was pure, was clean. Seafood was excellent. Yeah, Italy's great. I think I'm going to go back to Italy many times before I'm done.
Yeah.
Before my last days.
We're going back to Italy as well, definitely.
Yeah. That's going to be my mentality, Dave's mentality that we talk about. Well, because, you know, the money is fair. The transportation, it really has. I'm sure Dubai is great. I'm sure Milton Keynes has a lot of positives. You know, probably Amsterdam is not as bad as you might say. There's a lot of, but Italy just has a certain. I don't know. If I say je ne sais quoi, then that's French. It doesn't make any sense. But there's something about Italy that I don't know if you even said that right. But there's something about Italy that just was appealing. But I'd love to go, and it's near Switzerland, which is also nice. But anyway, yeah, Stanley Tucci talked about the food there in Naples. I want to try their pizza or whatever. Yeah.
Do you have any travel plans
Sorry.
booked
Someone's
this
ringing
year?
on my bell. On my bell, it's like 10 o'clock in the evening. So
Uh-oh.
it seems like something is urgent.
Oh, you
I'll
gotta
be
leave?
back.
Or you? All right.
I'll
There
be
you
back.
go.
Just give me 1 second.
Live radio.
Unexpected interruption there.
There you go. Go
Do
ahead.
you have any holidays booked for this year at the moment? Or any in the pipeline?
Well, I'm going to another drag racing event in a couple of weeks. I'll be working again, wearing a shirt, driving a golf cart. That's my plans. My wife is actually on holiday. We say vacation here in the United States, but on holiday in a couple of weeks for the Easter break or spring break, and we haven't made any finalized plans. But you know, we might just stay home and just do some cleaning of the garage, as you guys say, the garage, and clean that up. And I'll tell you a quick answer to the question. I don't know if we've gotten to. Where would we never go? You know, my wife and I discuss this all the time. Where would we never go? And my wife and I have agreed we never want to see a volcano because we just saw a documentary where these people went to a volcano, and it was dormant. It's been dormant for a long time until that day, and they're on this island. It's a documentary. It's a true story, and the volcano erupted, and people got killed, and they got hurt, and they sued the cruise line or whatever. It's insane. We're watching this movie. We're going, why would you go see a volcano when it's been, and there were hints that it was going to erupt, but they ignored it. And there's no place to hide. They don't have shelter. So if the volcano erupts, you're going to get hurt. And a lot of people got really hurt. So no volcanoes for us. And
So
go ahead.
when I was in Naples, we visited Pompeii. If you've ever heard of Pompeii,
Yeah, sure.
it's where they got killed by the Vesuvius mountain,
Yeah.
and we wanted to visit Vesuvius mountain while we was there as well, but we couldn't go on the day because of the wind. So they was not allowing people to go on that day. So we missed out. But definitely we're going back to Italy. I want to see Venice. I want to see Florence.
Venice with the water, right?
Yeah.
That's where the boaters are with the funny boats and all that stuff. Yeah.
The gondolas, yes.
The gondolas, right. There's a lot of water in Venice.
Yeah.
Pigeons, a lot of pigeons.
Yeah.
And are there rats? I heard there were rats
Yes, I think there is.
there. Yeah.
Nellie's been to Italy, I don't know, 10 times.
Oh.
Her mum's from Italy, so
Oh, she's been there 10 times without you.
probably 7 or 8 times without me, yes.
All right. Well, maybe you need to find another passenger. So I'm only kidding, Nellie. Yeah. All right. There you go. What about Elsa? Everything okay? No surprises at the door?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Stupid delivery guy, stupid address, wrong
Oh,
address.
geez, 10 o'clock at night, wrong address. Wow. So Luke just asked me about future holiday plans, travel plans. You have any? Or work?
So far I don't have much. So far I'm focusing on like relaxing and being where I am, and if any, I will be back home in Lebanon. But yeah, I'm thinking of like doing something different a little bit, maybe a little bit further down the line, going to Turkey or Armenia, or maybe to some Latin festival somewhere. It depends on that and what it
Right.
decides to do at the very last minute.
Right.
Where were you thinking in Turkey? Which city?
It's just I have never been there, so like anything works.
We were in Istanbul last year, and it's so good.
Wow.
Mhm.
What did you like about Istanbul? Elaborate.
It's completely different, the culture. I'm a Christian, so it's a Muslim culture there. They have a lot of mosques. They have a way of life there. You know, they have just different dress codes. They have different food.
Mm.
I'm willing to go anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
I want to go to Israel as well. Another different religion.
Mm.
When we was in Istanbul, we were going to the mosques. Nearly had to buy a headscarf. We went to the mosque. We just had a look around, see what it's like. I had a tours to know about the culture and the history.
I think it's a good idea to make a list for me. Just speaking for me, to make a list and to be intentional about where you want to go. I think part of my problem specifically is not being intentional about my travel plans and not making preparations. To just think about it is one thing, and then I satisfy myself. I go, yeah, I just spoke about Romania with my team. I'm done. It's like I check it off. I heard all about it. I've seen it, as much as I want to see, and but it's not really the way to do it. You really have to be intentional. You have to say, I'm going to go. I'm going to just do it. I think you've done that, Luke, pretty well, where you say, I'm going to go, because you've been in a lot of places, even recently, for somebody who has quite an interesting life, like as yourself, with your limited concert appearances and other things.
Yes.
It's interesting that you've traveled quite a bit. But to be intentional, you have to really say, this is it. 5 days, I'm doing it one way or another, and start making the plans. But if you just think about it, you might never do it. And you just spend your whole holiday in your head thinking, yeah, I'm on a gondola. This is great. I'm in Amsterdam. I'm having a good time. So you've given me some food for thought to really be more intentional. Well, it's always food for me.
When I was younger, football just got in the way, It was
Really?
like, oh, I want to go to Rome, I want to go to here, I want to do that. But I didn't do it because, I can't go now because I'm watching the football. I can't go next week because there's football. I can't go the week after because there's football. It was just football, and it was blocking out everything else. So I thought, I've got to prioritise here, I can still watch football, but I can also do other things as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
So,
is that an English thing, the whole football thing? That's very, very European or English or maybe even Irish or so. You guys are really married to that.
It's a huge culture in England.
It is. It is. Yeah. It is.
What the next question is, what travel has taught us about ourselves? One thing or a couple of things?
Elsa seems ready to go.
Well, travel has changed me completely. And it really taught me who I really was.
Wow.
From someone who had no self-awareness, no nothing, to someone super strong, to someone who knows what she can give to the world, what I can do. Travel really changes the person, and this is why it's very important for me not to go just on touristic sites in travel, but to go much more local, much more outside of what you're used to, because that's the point of travel. If you are traveling the world, it means that we are discovering things. It means that we are discovering new cultures, new values, new things that might not look important for us, but they might be important for other people. And so it really reshapes the personality all over. And I traveled for work. So like this effect, it doubles and triples, because like sometimes in some way our livelihood depends on it. So travel changed me so very much, and I can only be grateful.
Wow, that's powerful. Great job.
For me, travel has opened doors for me as well, because I feel like I don't want to close any doors on countries I want to visit, or before I was thinking, I don't want to go there because it's a different culture, it's a different way of living, I'm not used to that. But I'm throwing that in the bin. I don't care. I want to go everywhere. I don't care about what culture or what religion or how people live. I want to see everything. I don't want to, because then by doing that, you learn more and you're more open.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
And also, one more thing travel has taught me is when I go on a holiday, I always do a lot of research about where I want to see while in that city. And I've learned that some places are just famous because of Instagrammers, and they're not actually worth visiting. They're just like little sites, little staircases, or little, I don't know, not important things basically, and they're just grown in importance because of Instagram. And they when they're on Instagram, these pictures, these photos, they're just with a lot of filters, and they make them look better than they actually are.
That's interesting. I don't have any Instagram travel. We're definitely of a different era, Lucas. I don't know. I don't know anything about travel with Instagram, but it's interesting. Travel changes you. It totally changes you. it opens up your boundaries. You can go. There's a movie that Jim Carrey made years ago. What was that movie? Truman. Do you remember the Jim Carrey movie where he's on a set? His whole life is a movie. Elsa, are you familiar with this movie? Truman. Yeah, it's interesting. So anyway, but he can't go past a certain line because his world is not real. His life is a movie. And he's being directed. He doesn't even realize it. Everybody in his life is in the cast of characters. And there's a director. Ed Harris, a famous actor, is the director. And this whole thing is in a globe. And then one day he wants to get away. And he goes in a car and he goes to the end of the road, but it's a movie set. He doesn't realize it. And then he gets to the line. There's a bridge. The bridge is down. He can't cross the bridge. And everybody's worried he's going to find out that this place isn't real. But the point is that if you don't travel, and if you don't start traveling young, I think that's really, if I could win the $453 million lottery, I talk about this with my wife all the time. We would always try to create some sort of foundation where we get mostly kids to travel. It doesn't have to be a religious group. It doesn't have to be for any reason except, for 3 to 5 days, you're going to get on a plane, a bus, you're going to go somewhere, you're going to see something, you're going to eat something, and you would have been away, and it would have been all expenses paid because kids need to get out and adults need to get out. And then if you don't get out, like the world kind of closes in on you. So if you don't push back, the world closes in on you. And then your frame of mind is affected, your heart's affected. And it's also, for me, traveling is related to vacation, holiday, which is related to not being at work, which is related to freedom and retirement. And it's always a great feeling to not be home, to be elsewhere. I mean, it's also great to get home, but anywhere I go somewhere, it's just great. And I drive a lot. So I'm a nomad as far as that's concerned. I love driving. If my wife says to me right now, let's go, I'll go. Where do you want to go? Just get in the car and go and drive for 3 hours, 2 hours, and just stop and turn around and come home. I love looking out the window. So travel is definitely transformative for almost everybody. And I just wish the world would do it more. We need more of it. And we definitely need to encounter each other like the Worldwide Travel Podcast, shameless plug, but on our own show. But, look how enriching it's been for all of us to learn about Milton Keynes and Dubai and New York and Romania. And it's just, it's incredible. Otherwise, most people just watch American Idol or whatever football. Like you said, it gets in the way. And Elsa, when you were younger, a little girl growing up in Lebanon, did you think you were going to travel? Did you think you were going to be an interpreter? Did you think you were going to be with all these people? And you must have, I mean, I don't mean to get personal, but my guess is
Never imagined.
never imagined.
Never imagined. It was like a dream that I will never be able to achieve. And then lo and behold, the same year I graduate, I traveled 10 or 11 times in the same year.
Wow. So you graduated from college. You went to a college, a university.
Yeah.
Did you major in the job that you have? Is that what was your major? Oh,
Conference interpreting and translation.
Conference interpreting and translation. Wow. All right. And then the travel came right away.
Yeah.
You must have been ecstatic.
Oh, of course.
You're making money. You have a purpose. You're traveling. You're meeting people, mostly nice people.
Yes.
Mostly.
Yes.
Hotels.
Traveling for free.
Traveling
Hotels,
for free.
Conferences. Catered.
All right.
With the
Catered.
best
Yeah.
food.
Yeah. I went to a political event a week ago in my town, and there was food. I didn't expect there to be food. I was like, oh, I'm going to more of these political get-togethers, meatballs and sausage. It was delicious. Yeah, when there's food, it's always great. So there you go, Luke. I think that's a good answer. Travel is transformative. More people need to do it. I wonder what the number is in the world. 30% of people travel. Like, how many people travel and how often do they travel? That'd be a good number to know. Good statistics to know. I bet you that'd be a big answer to world peace. And happier people. Get away. That.
I just want to drop another plug for our next guest we have on the podcast is Alan and Shannon from their YouTube channel with 85,000 subscribers. So this is going to be big for us. I think it's going to be I think we're going to get a boost from this.
I hope so.
Hopefully. Yeah.
I know it's very important to you. You want to get just 5%, just 0.5%. I know what you're thinking.
Well, if they shared this podcast with their followers, hopefully we get a bit of a, even on just that one podcast, like 1,000 viewers, whatever.
Let's hope. Let's hope for a good interview and a good bump. Let's hope for a bump. That's what they call it. Is that what they call it in your part of the world? A bump? That's what I'm going to call it. Okay.
Hopefully they'll be like, oh, Alan and Shannon on the podcast, and then hopefully some of them will stay from the following podcasts. Then. Right.
All right.
So yeah, I think that's about everything for today, guys.
Oh, really? All right.
I think we're about done. Yeah.
There you go.
So if you would like to like and subscribe, please do so. It's all free to do, and we're working hard. We're doing the research. We're here every week. Yeah.
What's the email, Luke? Give them the email.
WorldwideTravelPodcast@outlook.com.
All right. And for those of us in America, Worldwide Travel. I'm sorry. I'm just being funny. WorldwideTravel@outlook.com.
Worldwide Travel Podcast.
Worldwide Travel Podcast at outlook.com. All right. You know, the last episode we did, Luke, I don't know if Elsa doesn't know this, but when I do the closed captions, when you say buses, it said buzzes, Buzzes. And then when you said bus, it said buzz. So I spent a lot of time correcting the closed caption. And there were other words too. So I just know that for those of us like me in the United States, sometimes I have to interpret without going to uni. I know how to interpret Luke into American English. So it's funny. It said buzzes and it passed by me several times. I just said, oh yeah. What? And then I looked again and buzzes. And then I listened to you and go, oh, it sounds like he's saying buzzes. It's, it's funny, but I fixed it, Luke. So just let you know.
So
I'm curious. Go ahead.
When I was editing the most recent podcast, the same happened with me. I put the captions up, and then every time someone said my name, it said look instead of Luke. Look.
That's interesting. I didn't have that issue. I didn't have to correct your name. But yeah, it's interesting what happens with closed caption. There's a lot of mispronunciations and misspellings. It could be humorous. It's kind of when you voice text or whatever, the words that come up. There's a joke in the United States, probably in the rest of the world. It's never duck. Someone wrote that. Dear closed captions. The word is never duck. Can you figure that out? I think you can figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, ducking hell.
Ducking hell. That's the name of my new podcast, by the way. It's never duck. All right, that's it. Exclamation point. It's never duck. All right. Yeah.
You really have another podcast now.
No, I have several. Yeah, but that's not one of them. I'm just kidding. I always come up with podcast names. Yeah. Well, this is my newest podcast, but it's always something in the works. Worldwide Travel Podcast at outlook.com. And what about Twitter, right? Twitter Worldwide Podcast, Worldwide Travel.
Twitter
Give it
is
to them all.
Wide Travel Pod on Twitter. Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is all Worldwide Travel Podcast.
Excellent. I think we covered Elsa. We covered everything. What do you think?
Yes, I think we covered everything.
All right.
And we're all good for that episode. Very nice episode, by the way.
Yeah, another fun time.
We always get it done.
Yeah.
We always get it done. It's good enough for me. All right, Luke, take us out of here. We'll see you next week. I'll see you guys in a couple of days, probably.
See you next week, guys.
Okay.